Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy-Handy.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
All right.
Good. Aurora movie theater killer. Greg, you asked if your personality splits and the one that takes over knows what it's doing is wrong, shouldn't you still be held accountable? We got to be clear on this. Schizophrenia, which there's some talk this guy may have, is not split personality. That's dissociative identity disorder. Schizophrenics can suffer from hallucinations. They can be delusional, paranoid, etc., but it's not split personality.
Don't you think, though, that if this guy had that problem, he wouldn't be capable of the amount of planning, engineering, and thinking and sophistication that went into what he did?
Had which problem?
If he had schizophrenia. Most schizophrenics aren't like that. They're like, they are, I mean, from documentaries about it, I mean, they're fairly troubled. They don't, I can't imagine them going at this great length.
Yeah.
It
It sounds like this guy just maybe had a psychotic break or something. Like, I don't.
Yeah, but in that
I don't even know
psychotic
if that's
break,
a medical term.
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is the danger of people who don't know what they're talking about things.
You're talking about me.
No, and me.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I meant us.
I admit, but we have an hour to fill, and
No,
this is like the thing that no one's talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin, Jamie, you said both of you seem to be skeptical of the death penalty, but both of you seem to favor it in this case. So what makes this special?
Oh, well, I think that in high casualty events, actually, it's the Howard Dean position. He is opposed to the death penalty, except in like 3 circumstances: with terrorists, with those who commit gross crimes against children, and also with those who attack cops, as maybe a deterrent to do some of those things in the grossest crimes to put people to death.
Okay.
I always thought the Howard Dean position was something a lot different, and it involved a weird scream afterwards.
Yikes.
Okay. Kevin, do you agree with that?
I don't really have an intellectual defense of why I make exceptions for people who need to be executed. They're just certain people who do things that are awful enough that it makes me want to see them put to death.
Okay.
So it's just a purely emotional thing, but in this case, I'm willing to go with it.
All right. It's always, although in this case, all of you except for Greg seem to be opposed to the death penalty generally. It always amazes me that conservatives who are rightly skeptical of government power and also talk a lot about, also rightly, how the government bungles things, favor the government having the power to end someone's life.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I'm in general skeptical of the death penalty, not because I necessarily think that it's morally wrong, but because I don't entrust the state with that kind of power.
Yeah.
Whose power who would you like to do that? Like if the government did, would you like a posse or get your friends together to go down and hang the guy?
I'm actually fairly open to vigilante justice.
I realized when I asked that.
No, I'm with Kevin. I have a lot less problems with vigilante justice than I do with the government executing
I
people.
mean, the best outcome of the situation would have been someone to stand up in the front row and pop the guy.
Yeah.
Yes, which brings us to gun control.
Yes.
No, that brings us to Batman.
Yes. And now I take us away from gun control.
Alrighty.
Sam, you said one of the problems is that you're opposed to death penalty, but you said one of the problems is we don't really have a death penalty, that we don't really put people to death, and then Kevin mentioned Texas, which is true, but you're right, Sam. In terms of Colorado, the last execution took place there in 1997, and there are currently only 3 people on that state's death row.
That's right.
So, and they've been there for a long time, apparently. Anyone have anything else they want to talk about that, or can I move along?
You can move along.
Okay. Penn State gets heavy NCAA sanctions. Jamie, if I understood you correctly, your problem with this is that it's more about punishment than it is about preventing something like this from happening again. Did I understand that?
It's not really I have a problem with it. I'm fine with punishment. I'm just saying that I don't think it's a deterrent factor in the future for stopping other people from not reporting things. I mean,
it seems to me if you're the kind of person who's not going to report sexual abuse of kids, what's going to make you do, like, if you're that screwed up,
this isn't going to do it.
Nothing is going to do it. Yeah. Like, if you have to be taught that that's wrong, you're kind of a lost cause.
Exactly.
Sam, you said this is harsh against the players who had nothing to do with anything. So should the NCAA have done anything, or should they just have, Paterno's dead, Sandusky's in jail, the president of the university resigned? Is that it?
I don't feel qualified to weigh in on that. I just think that what they did is ridiculous.
Right.
I don't, it's not a football issue. I don't even know, actually, I don't think it's any of their business. It's not a football issue.
Okay. First of all, I should point out none of us are qualified to talk about anything. Anything. So you should give your opinion.
I should.
You're no less qualified than anybody else here. I disagree with you, though. I do think it's a football issue because it's an issue of football culture. the school officials allowed this to happen. They turned a blind eye, even though they knew it was going on, because the football program was more important to them. So to me, that makes it a football issue in the sense that it's an issue of football culture.
Well, the football culture is also. I mean, it was the college that needed Penn State. I mean, that's how they make their money.
You know, and the NCAA isn't a law enforcement organization, but they do have a right to determine what sort of people and institutions they want to associate with and on what terms.
Yeah.
And I think in that sense, this was an appropriate thing to do.
There would be no pressure if this was happening in the badminton program. There would be no pressure to cover anything up. In the football program, which is such a glorious there, brings in a lot of money.
Right.
There is pressure to put it under the rug. Not that it justifies it; it doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's a football issue, I think.
Yeah, no, that's why I agree. It's a culture issue.
And why smear the badminton club?
Thank you.
Yeah, what have they ever? They've never done anything. There's never been anything. We should point that out.
That
by
we
the way.
know about.
How terrible.
That we know about.
It needs scrutiny.
Yeah. Greg, the schools that lost to Penn State are not now given victories.
Oh,
When a win is vacated, neither team gets a win or a loss for that game.
so wait a second. That makes no sense. That's like almost. That's like a. That's. I don't get it. That's like digging half a hole.
The whole thing's ridiculous. But this is insane. I mean, yes, it was horrible. But this is insane. You can't take wins off the record book. One had nothing to do with the other. Sorry.
No, look. Ultimately, that's kind of silly. But Bill, don't you think that the point of that was to make it so that Paterno is not the winningest coach in NCAA history because they didn't want that, right?
Yeah, but he is. I mean, yeah,
but
you
they
know what?
don't-
Ty Cobb was a horrific human being.
Right.
I don't see anyone going after his records.
No, but I think the entire reason they took those wins away is so that he's not in the record books. It was basically an FU to him.
Yeah,
To enter his
but
legacy.
is that
As a
it
consequence
seems
of which
very,
the record books will no longer contain the records.
No, but they will. Every time they show it on television in an NCAA game, they're going to have an asterisk with Joe Paterno there. It's not like they're never going to mention him when they're talking about the winningest coaches. They're going
Yeah,
to
no, you're
mention.
absolutely right.
They're going to mention why Joe Paterno is not there.
Right.
And he
But
would really be
in
there
the
to do it.
official record book, his name won't be there with an asterisk. It'll
Has
be Bobby
anyone
Bowden.
ever seen the official record book?
I have them going back to 1843.
I'm sorry, I stand corrected.
Yes, in my bathroom.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Great reading.
Yeah.
Great reading,
Yeah.
Andy.
Well, I finished every Guinness Book of World Records book.
Yes.
And I needed something else. So.
And quite a collection of TV guides going back to '72.
Oh yeah. Yep. By the way, Paterno's family issued a statement saying the NCAA ruling has defamed his legacy, which I thought was kind of the point.
yeah,
So,
mission
Success,
Not
yeah.
really clear. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually defame him at this
No,
point.
no,
I mean, you have to have a reputation.
My
enough to be
heart, my
defamed.
heart does not go out to them. All right, 21 people at Tony Robbins' seminar injured during a fire walk. Sam, you said the amazing thing is that thousands of people successfully completed the fire walk. Not really. And it's for the same reason that Tony Robbins' seminar is a complete fraud. Firewalking has nothing to do with the power within, or as Jamie brought up, they said understanding that there's absolutely nothing you can't overcome. What it's about, as Kevin said, is physics, more specifically thermal conductivity. But Kevin, you had it exactly wrong. Physics is why you can walk across hot coals.
Right, I said physics trumps metaphysics.
And actually, if
No,
you
but I thought you were using it to say that's why all the people got hurt.
Well, no, because, you know, when you have a bed of coals like that, some spots are really hot and some spots aren't. And when you step on the really hot ones, they burn you, as it turns out.
Okay, but that's not really how it works. The deal is coal is a poor conductor of heat, and then there's a layer of ash on top of the coals that also acts as a cushion, and the key is the speed with which you walk over them. There's a physicist named David Willey at University of Pittsburgh, I think, and he participated in the world record fire walk, the big world record fire walk of 1998. You probably remember it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was 165 feet. He says, quote, "It is neither necessary nor advisable to run. A brisk walk is reported to work best, with each step taking half a second or less." It's all about the speed. If you do it at the right speed, you don't get burnt.
Well, so Andy, I do take issue. I don't think you can call the event a fraud. Then you could say
What?
it's a shtick. It's a shtick. It's something to do, but I don't think you can call it a fraud.
Oh, I think you can. I mean, it's just Robbins is saying that what you learn in his seminar will unlock the inner you to allow you to walk over coals. No, physics allows you to walk over coals whether you attend his seminar or not.
But can we say this at least? There's an unintended consequence here is that those 21 people now will be able to utilize the power within to overcome third-degree burns, which is
That's true.
actually a nice challenge.
Yeah.
And perhaps Sue.
I think the important thing is for all you kids watching out there, walk through Kohl's. Think about it.
But the important thing is for all you kids out there, if you run, you would think that's good because it's faster. No, if you run, your feet sink down deeper and the hotter coals are on the bottom.
Right.
That's why you want to do just a brisk walk, kids.
Yo,
The more you know.
All right, can I just get in here right now and say, kids, do not listen to these idiots. You're not walking on anything. What are you guys trying to get the show canceled?
But if you are going to run, make sure you're holding
Shut up!
scissors.
I'm unleashing the power within kids.
Ah, stop it.
I think wearing shoes would be advisable.
Just wear
Also
shoes.
a good idea.
Wear
Yes.
shoes and stay away from Kohl's.
Always the best
Unless
idea.
it's, Nat King Cole, which is great music.
Yes.
Cole Hauser, the actor,
Yes.
interesting character.
Maybe stay away from him.
Cole
Maybe
Haan
stay
shoes.
away.
Cole Haan shoes.
Not a fan of Cole Haan.
Stay away
Oh,
from
I do like Cole Haan shoes. Wait, who's the guy who's a jerk?
Kenneth Cole.
Kenneth Cole. Don't like Kenneth Cole.
Yeah.
I like Cole Haan.
Bye. Go away.
All right, coming up, a story so strange. If it were a cantaloupe, you'd say that's a strange cantaloupe. Then you'd eat it anyway because you're frugal and you'd never throw it out. But first, is Obama's campaign a campaign or a cult? Well, if I'm asking that question, then you already know the answer I'm about to give you.